let's say. It's been exciting. The traveling gets me though. It's really exhausting to travel because we literally travel anyway. But the drama that comes with the weddings, everything that you think maybe would not happen will happen. Sometimes it will go perfectly well. So it's been quite interesting. I'm loving it. You know, just the fact that I get to get into people's homes and see how they do things, what their cultures are, how they, you know, take things and put them into perspective. So it's been very exciting. I think, you know, anything that gets me in front of the camera makes me really feel alive. Photo shoots I love, you know, when I'm modeling and I get to pose and play around with the camera. Presenting I love. It's hard to say. I think maybe modeling for me would be when I'm in front of the camera I really feel alive, you know. At the same time acting, getting into different roles, you know, getting to play someone else and not have to actually be in that person's life, but be in that person's life for those few hours that you're playing the character, you know. So it depends which space I'm in at a specific time. When I was 4, my mom took me to a modeling agency, and then everything just happened naturally. So I don't know whether it was that influence that got me into the modeling thing, but what started for me was music, where at the age of about 8 I had, you know, those little brown school books, exercise books. I used to have one of those, and I used to write lyrics, and I lost it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I still had it and I would know what I used to write about at the age of 8. I mean, I don't know how I was writing about, but that's when I was like, okay, actually I want to be in music, and from then I just slowly started getting into, you know, the modeling thing was already happening. I got introduced to this youth group called Amachiga, where they do dance, poetry, acting, music. That's where I really got to explore my talents and see, oh, okay, I can do this, I really love doing this, you know, this is something that I want to do. But growing up, I always wanted to be a pilot. And then I probably would have been a pilot, but I totally sucked at maths and science. So. Wow, the most awesome place that I've been to had to be Israel. We were on a school choir competition when I was in standard 5, and we were competing for South Africa. And we went to Israel, and we got to see literally where the cross was. We went up these stairs where you could actually go up to the cross and where Jesus was born, and, you know, all those things. I think for me that was a very, very special thing, you know, to actually be able to be in that space and say this is where it actually all happened. It had a significant, you know, it played a significant part in everything, in my Christianity and everything else. But I love traveling around the world in general. I've been to Norway, which is a beautiful place, where, you know, when it's summer, it's literally light for 20 hours of the day and dark for 4 hours, and when it's winter, it's the other way around. So I got to experience all of that. That's a difficult question. I love my country. I think that we have an awesome country, South Africa. But obviously, if I had to be presented with an opportunity in terms of my work, you know, in entertainment, I would definitely take that opportunity. Maybe when I'm older and I think I want to retire, maybe I'll retire to Gabon. I love Gabon. I think it's a beautiful country, an African country. Yeah. It's awesome. I'm loving it. This time around, I'm really just taking every second in and living in the moment. Whereas with my first child, it was more, what do I do? Oh my gosh, she's sick. How am I going to get this done? How am I, you know, the more panicky, don't know what to do sort of thing. But now I'm more relaxed. And unlike my first child, he's he's an angel. He hardly cries. He's a happy child. He's just a dream come true. So I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. It's going too fast. The last time I was pregnant, and now he's about 8 months old, and I'm like, when did all of this happen, you know? So I'm really, really, really loving it. tough, especially with this new show that I'm doing, where we have to travel every single weekend. Some weekends I don't even get to go back home from Thursday until Sunday. So it's been quite a challenge, emotionally draining. But look, it's at the end of the day, I always say that work keeps me alive, for me to be a better mom to him, you know, for me to be able to come back home and miss those little moments. And so I love juggling. If I'm at home doing nothing, I really go insane. So I prefer working than not working. I think it will also be good for him when he grows up to say, my mom worked and, you know, this is how things are done. So yeah. A song that would describe me, I think, would be Hey Ya by Outkast, because I'm sort of a crazy person, but I don't show it very much when I'm, you know, in between. But people who work with me will tell you that, yeah, no, she's got a screw loose somewhere. Look, I love people. I'm not shy. I'm myself when I'm around people, you know, and I express myself, and if I have to dance on the table for 2 seconds, I will, if I feel that's what I need to do in that moment in time. So I think that, yeah, that would best describe me as a person.
What's the one item in your bag?
Lip gloss.
Lip gloss.
Yeah.
And why? Just...
There's nothing like dry lips, eh?
Yeah, we know.
You don't want to have dry lips on any occasion, wherever you are. You always want to feel comfortable, because when you've got dry lips, you're always a bit conscious of, are they white? Am I looking a bit shady? And you just don't feel comfortable. So lip gloss, definitely. Yeah. I don't use a lot of stuff on my skin. Okay, I wake up, take a shower. For my hair, I generally use a shampoo and conditioner, and then I let it air dry. I don't use the blow dryer most of the time. For my skin, it's literally face wash and Nivea. That's literally all I use for my face. If I've got makeup on, that's when I use the cleanser to cleanse off the makeup, and I use the same Nivea as well to cleanse the makeup off. So I think that's been the product that's been very good to my skin. I want to be very far, hey? I feel like I've done so much in the industry, but I haven't even gotten to where I want to be. I think the next 5 years would really be important for me to get my brand where I want it to be, you know. It's very hard to be a brand and be totally clean of any, be it tabloid scandals and all of that. So that's one thing that I'm trying to get balanced. So that I'm trying to build Phumeza the brand, because I'm not just a singer, I'm not just a model, but I'm all of those things. And get into more business. I'd like to start getting into behind the scenes on the TV screen, produce my own shows. You know, I've got a lot of ideas on that. Start getting into hair products, which is something that I'm working with now. Developing for hair products for natural hair, which is something that I'm struggling to get in terms of moisturizing it, keeping it soft and not dry and all of that. So those are things that I'm looking at doing in terms of what I find challenging and that I can't find that's in the market, you know. So I want it to be a very big brand. So it's a slow process, but I'll get there eventually, you know. So I'm hoping that 5 years is a long time. I'm hoping that at least I'll be, if not halfway, I'll be almost, yeah. Look, I think we're in a very tricky place right now. Look, in terms of, you know, elections, honestly, at this point in time, I don't even know who to vote for. You know, I feel like it's no more about the country. I feel like the people that are up there are really fighting their own struggles, and they're trying to stay at the top, and have forgotten about the rest of us who are down here trying to survive, you know. I think the youth right now really needs to understand that it's either they do it for themselves or they're not going to get anything done. if they're going to depend on government to give them this or to create jobs or anything like that, I don't think that mentality is going to get us anywhere. As much as the government is trying to do that, we need to, as the youth, look at avenues and look at opportunities instead of saying, there's an opportunity knocking. Go look for the opportunity. Knock on that door, and say, what is it that I can do, Probably peppermint crisp tarts.
Wow, really?
Yeah, or Marlboro pudding, or just anything
hectic.
nice. No, nothing hectic. Just I've got a sweet tooth. I love my sweets, which is a big struggle for me. If you're trying to get back to your old after having a baby, But yeah, it would be dessert. I love dessert.
So are you one of those that always leave space, or do you start with the dessert? I know people who start with dessert and then move on.
Sometimes I don't even leave space, but yeah, I just have everything. Yeah, but if I can start with dessert and have it again after, I do. I'm that obsessed with it. Yeah, definitely. I think it would definitely have to do with kids. I think, it's very, very important to love them and nurture them while they're still young so that they become better people when they grow up. And they are really the future of this country. If we can start there, both boys and girls, and not just say no girl children. No, we need to have both for boys and girls. So for me, that would definitely be a cause that I'd love to be behind, and be part of.